Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Are you ready to pop your cork? In the left corner at 6'4", 242 pounds, with a record of 45-0, the undisputed.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Will.
Hey, how many bottles of wine have you had?
Well, Will, it's not the wine. I'm just so excited about the podcast.
Yeah, I am too. This is not a boxing match. This is We Know Texas Vino. Welcome back, everybody, to We Know Texas Vino. I'm your host, Will, and today we're coming to you from a very interesting little place. And in fact, I love the name, and I had to find out where the name came from. But we're coming to y'all from Pollo Rosa in Cleburne, Texas. And with me today, we have Dwayne and Donna Patrick. How y'all doing?
We're doing great.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a very interesting place, especially with, called Pink Chicken.
Yeah, it's a whole story.
We'll definitely get that in just a second. Real quick, before we get into the show, I want to talk about where you can find us out on the line. You can find us on any podcasting platform. You can also find us on YouTube at We Know Texas Vino. And then also we got some great events coming up this year. So first one is the Drink North Texas, May 31st at the Flott Museum at Love Field. And then actually on March the 3rd and 4th, I will be at the Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association. Going to be doing a live stream from there. So I've got some wines lined up for every hour. Got winemakers coming over to talk. So we got a really good big packed show coming up. And I'm hoping by that time I can tweak the video out and we have some good stuff coming out. So
Sweet.
Yeah. So let's get into this. This is actually episode 89.
All right.
It's kind of crazy. I'm almost hitting the century mark here. I'm getting excited about it. I don't know what I'm going to do for the century mark yet. So Dwayne, Donna, first off, before we do anything, I almost cursed this show. We got to toast this show.
All right. And cheers. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So ladies first, what are we drinking there, ma'am?
This is Trebbiano, right?
Toes.
Toes. You gave me toes. Okay. I didn't think it tasted. Okay. I thought it was toes. All right.
Toes
So
Trebbiano.
Toes Trebbiano. Yeah. This is Toes in the Sand, and it is a Sauvignon Blanc, and it is, this actually was made for us in Kerrville.
Okay.
So John down in Kerrville Hills. And it is a really nice, crisp. It's got some tropical flavors. You get some citrus, you get a little floral in it. But this is perfect for back porch sitting. It's perfect for the patio, summertime sipping. So I love it.
Very nice. And Dwayne, what do you got over there?
I got some Sunset. That's my favorite. It's a Petite Syrah with Grenache.
Nope, it's just Petite Sirah.
Oh.
It's straight.
I thought they had.
Nope.
Janita. Okay, my bad. I don't know my wines. She knows. I just drink them.
You just drink them?
Yeah.
And let me guess, I'm drinking Syrah also?
Yep.
I can literally smell it. I love me a good Petite Syrah. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, especially when you get a nice big piece of steak.
Oh, yeah.
Medium well with some button mushrooms and gravy on top of that.
Right.
We're going to have to eat now.
Sorry about that.
And that's in my tasting notes on our menu. It says bring on the steak. So that's what, it's a nice
This is
one.
probably our best selling, other than our stuff we're sold out of.
Yeah, the stuff we're sold out of.
What'd you sell of?
Mustang.
Wild Mustang.
Wow. Wild Mustang. Now, is it a dry or sweet?
It is dry.
Really?
Well, there has to be a level of sweetness to it, but we didn't, I would say 1%. I think the last one was 1%. We as little as we possibly could, because we didn't want it to be too sweet.
Right.
But Mustangs are so tart, so acidic.
Yep.
You have to balance that out.
Yep.
But it comes off dry.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's a winery over in East Texas that Ron Martin from Texas Wine Lover tells me I need to go out there and try, and because it's 100% dry Mustang and muscadine. And I'm like,
no, we need to go try it too.
We need to go try it.
Yeah, we need to go try it one day.
There's not too many people that do Mustangs.
Yeah.
I know
Shelley at Barditch.
Yes.
She's the one that taught us and talked to us. We walked us through the doing and
Until
encouraged
today,
us.
I thought we were the only two, so now there's 3 people doing it.
Oh, if you go to East Texas, you'll find them all over the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew muscadine's
breaking my
really
heart.
popular.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're the only 3. There's only 3 people.
No, I knew muscadine's all over the place, but we hadn't found a lot of people that did the actual Mustang. They're just so hard to work with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. I know my folks has got a vine on their property in East Texas, and they couldn't figure out why it's not got any grapes on it. And I actually found out that the reason being is because it needs a male and a female vine, and so they must have cut the male out. So.
So either it is a male or there is no male
Well,
around.
I was trying to be female positive. Okay, leave me alone.
You just have to, and the flowers look so similar to
Yes,
me.
yeah.
I mean, to the untrained eye, I suppose that it's hard for me when we go out because we scour Johnson County for grapes and we harvest for all over Johnson County and because it's plentiful,
Right.
And people don't care. It's free. That's free. So that's a good price.
Oh yeah.
And so we all over Johnson County. So we look carefully because then we want to go back and get cuttings from the really good vines. When we find a vine that produces a 6 or 7 cluster, because you don't find that very often, they're usually 2 or 3 in a cluster, then we want to go back and get those to do cuttings and root them.
Right.
So
Nice.
we try to pay attention to that, but it is hard to tell them apart when you're out there in the field. So
Oh yeah, most definitely. So, well, I got my very first question for you. I have to know this. Okay, we talked about this a little bit before we got started. So, where it's hard to figure out where we begin here, but growing Christmas trees. How did that start? Why did y'all decide? Hey, let's grow Christmas trees.
Well, that's I don't know if you got enough time for that story.
Well, I mean, it is an hour and a half show. So.
I'll try to shorten it. But my dad, when he was in the military, he served his time, and then our illustrious armed forces will get you back to your state. They won't get you back to your house, but they'll get you to your state. And
Right.
you have to either hitchhike or get a bus or something to get on home. And so they dumped him off, I think, in El Paso. And so here are a bunch of,
20-something.
yeah, young people, they're sitting around at some cafe somewhere, I don't know where, but they got the question was, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? You finished this chapter of your life, so what are you going to do now? So a lot of people had direction. My dad was a little slow on the direction thing, so he just tried to make a joke, and he said, I think I'll grow Christmas trees. Now this is back in the 40s, and really back in the 40s, I think people just went out and cut a tree,
Right.
or they didn't have one at all.
Right.
And so it was kind of like bottling water at one point, it's kind of a big joke, but he made the joke, and then me growing up, he had told me that story. And then one day in the Progressive Farmer, which is a farming magazine, on the front cover was a Christmas tree.
Okay.
And people was actually doing it. And so he told me that story again. Hey, I made a joke about this back in the 40s, and here it is. It's a big deal. And then a few years later, I was out of high school, I think, and then the Fort Worth Star-Telegram had a story on the front page about Christmas tree farms in Texas.
Okay.
So I got to hear that story again. And so fast forward, and then I got some land, and a few acres, and I didn't really know what to do with it. And I'm an avid believer, if you got land, do something with it. Don't just mow it.
Right.
And so it's too small for cattle, not big enough for row crops. So Christmas trees.
Okay.
So I took my dad's joke and I actually started planting Christmas trees. Didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And back then we didn't have, it was 1997 when I planted my first trees. And the internet was around, but not everybody had it. And then out where we lived, if we did have it, when we did get it, we had dial-up, which, you would turn your computer on and then
wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Not 5 minutes. You went and took a shower. And
Oh yeah, it's true. 30 minutes later, you might be on.
and then you get onto the first page and you read that, and then you go cook dinner while it's changing to the second page. I mean, it was slow.
Oh yeah.
Slow. But but we didn't even get that. So there was no publications or anything. You couldn't find anything on Christmas trees. So you had to just either go find somebody that grew them and they could tell you how to do it, or you just had to wing it. And
Right.
I did more winging than anything.
Right.
So, but we've been doing it since 97.
So my curiosity is, are you able to get trees grown and ready for Christmas every year?
No. Well, yes and no, but it's a 6-year project.
Oh, a 6-year.
Yeah, we do 6 years in progressive plantings.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
So every year there should be a field ready. So we
Okay.
have about 9 fields that will hold 2,500, maybe 3,000 trees if it's fully planted. And so you should have a field ready each year. Now, 2011, he had
2011 was a horrible year. I still cry over that.
Yeah, transformer blew up and burned every tree.
Oh, man.
Had to start all over.
Oh, man.
Except for one.
Except for one, and he's written a book about that. He's got a children's book. He wrote about the one tree that survived.
You really wrote a children's book?
Yeah, he wrote.
Yeah, we're working on it right now. I actually illustrated it and all the words.
wrote it
It's
and
in poem
illustrated it.
form. But it's a different kind of book because it actually has pictures of the actual fire, and then it has an adult version of the story. So I cover all.
Put cuss words and everything.
No, just more details.
Just call me and I'll tell you.
But then we were about over that loss and back to where we should be in rotation, and 2022 happened. And 2022, that 10 days of 110 temperature,
Above 100.
Yeah.
it was over 100 degrees
Too long.
and it never got under 80 at night. And so our trees just started burning up,
Right.
dying. And we lost 75% of them then. So it's, but we learned through any trial. This I always tell this to the kids because we do a lot of school tours, a lot of education at the farm, at the Christmas tree farm. And I always tell the kids, anytime you have a rough time, you have a trial, you should come out of it with more information,
Right.
some knowledge. You've learned something and you've grown in some way. And so we did. And we learned how to save Christmas trees in Texas. So we shared it with all of our Christmas tree grower friends who were losing trees as well. And so we were able to help out a lot of people. But we figured out that you had to cool them down. You just had to. So you had to go out there morning and night and
Get them with some water.
on the outside so that they would cool down on the inside.
Interesting.
And so it was very interesting. Yeah. So everything we do is dependent upon the weather.
Right.
And so we're slaves to the weather in our life right now.
So that helps y'all out a lot in the vineyard then. I mean, that a lot of what you learned in growing the Christmas trees actually helps you a lot in the vineyard.
It gives us it gives us some
Interesting.
background. And that's why I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. But he had
So that'll be on the blooper reel.
but he had grown. He had a little vineyard at the Christmas tree farm already when we started the dream of doing this, and so he had been playing with those, and so had some background in that too.
Nice.
Yeah, the way she's talking now for the viewers, we haven't been married but about 5 years.
Well, 5 years is eternity sometimes.
Well, he feels like it is.
Well, I'm sitting here watching y'all, while I'm trying to get things set up, and I'm very observant. Y'all look like y'all have a really great relationship because the way you're clowning around back over here, and I'm watching y'all, and I'm just kind of shaking my head. I'm like, I thought y'all were like married for like 20, 25, 30 years.
No.
I really wish we were a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're good when you just hang on to it.
I believe in that 100%. So, so with understanding the Christmas trees now and where it brings y'all to y'all now, what made y'all decide y'all want to open a winery? I mean, what ultimately decided that? Was it her deal?
Well, yeah, actually it was. But however, she actually, I'm not sure she fell in love with me. I think she fell in love with the farm.
You just came with it.
Yeah,
I got this great farm, but this hand came along with it. I had a great hand.
So you messed up there. You see, you got this great farm and then this handsome man.
No, she stops at the hand.
No,
You're in trouble now.
That was what interested me in the beginning when we first started
It's on
talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's on video.
It's on video.
Black belt material, okay?
That's right. But yes, no, he's amazing, and I, just the talent that this guy has. I was an educator, a biology teacher, science,
Okay.
environmental science, biology.
Okay.
I had built outdoor learning facilities for school district, and that was my thing. And so when we met and he started talking about the education piece of his Christmas tree farm, and he's like, I'd really like to see that better, be better. I was like, that's what I do. That's my thing. And so that was kind of what captured my interest in the beginning. But
it wasn't
then
me. Nothing to do with me.
no,
I just had the means through your end there. Okay.
That's great.
no.
Oh my gosh. So you fell in love with a man that had a farm, and then so where did the idea for a vineyard / winery come about from all that then?
Well, we were kind of basically living my life, because I had the tree farm and everything. There's more to it than just a tree farm. It's school tours, photography,
Pumpkin patch,
all kinds of stuff.
Oh, wow.
But we are seasonal.
Right.
I mean, it is a seasonal business, but there is more than just growing Christmas trees.
I told her, I said, well, we're kind of just living my dream. I said, what do you got? And she said, well, I've always, her and her late husband used to go to wineries all the time. She said, I've always loved to have a winery. And I said, you find the spot, I don't care.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, 2 days later, she found a spot.
Well, you're thinking of a 5-year plan there, Rob.
Well, I was thinking, I actually thought I could throw that out there, and it might be 4 or 5 years, but no,
it was fast.
She jumped in.
We
quick.
started looking.
So you know what that means? She was literally waiting for you to say that. She already had the place picked. That's what that means.
No, it is so cool that we can look back on the 6 years that we've been together and see God's hand just manipulating so many circumstances and putting us in a place. And we believe we're here for a reason and a purpose. And it's really a cool thing.
Right.
I mean, the whole thing is really cool, but just looking at what I don't believe in coincidence in those kinds of things. It's God set. It's God's hand. And I believe he had, before my husband passed away, he had set up a whole lot of series of events that were to occur and put us here now. And
Nice.
then, I believe we have something cool moving forward where we're not just have a winery, we have a purpose.
Right.
And so that's a big deal for us.
Nice.
But yeah, my late husband and I had been winos for a long time. We did the we
Hey, at least
we had done Fredericksburg, multiple times. We did the Way Out winery tours. We did all the different trails, and we did, and my thing, being a science person, was I wanted to talk to the winemaker. I wanted to talk to the vineyard person. I wanted to go out there and see it, and I was just fascinated by all of it. And so I thought that's just the perfect thing to do. And so when he gave me the opportunity to say, what do you want to do? I was like, it's this.
Yeah.
And so,
awesome.
and again, it started working. This property came up at the perfect time, and it was a beautiful thing. So
Nice.
we were excited.
That's awesome. So you got this figured out. You bought the vineyard. No, so I'm not looking at her. I'm looking at you. You bought the vineyard for her, and you got the place where you do it. I noticed there's a lot of history in this building.
Oh, the whole place is packed with history.
Oh yeah, and I love history. History is just amazing, and anytime anybody can preserve that, I mean, you got to modernize the inside of it. If you want to use it for anything, you got to modernize it. But the story about the Rock House here, can you do a brief little history on it?
Yeah. And what actually won us over with the people that were selling it? They wonderful people. She basically lived here most of her life, and her and her 2 sisters. There's 3 houses on the place here.
Okay.
So the 2 sisters live back here too. And so they basically wanted us to preserve the house.
Okay.
Now the house was, when we came in and looked at it, it was pretty rough. And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of work, And but we told her, said, we'll do everything we can to preserve this house. And I'm glad we did, because it doesn't matter anywhere. We can go anywhere in Texas. And if we run across anybody that's familiar with Cleburne, and we'll tell them we have a winery, they'll say, where is it from that Rock House?
Oh, really?
And I say, it is the Rock House. So, I mean, people, I believe all over
It's
Texas,
a landmark.
Everybody knows where this house
Nice.
is.
This house was built in 1885, I believe.
Okay.
85 or 87. So it's been here that long.
Wow. Have y'all thought about getting it on the Texas historical markers?
We've thought about it, but the problem is, in my opinion, that once you do that, you have to keep the house to their standards.
That's true.
You have to be careful about what you do with it
You can't
after
do
that.
things. You can do things. You can't do things, and then they slap you on the hand. And I'm tired of being slapped.
So we're just gonna tell people. We're just gonna tell people about it. But the family that we bought it from had moved here in 1967, and they'd been here all that time. They had cows, horses, chickens, all kinds of stuff. They're the ones that put the rock on the outside. So that was in the 60s, and like I said, it's become a landmark because people know this house going on this side of town. And they had mom and dad had passed away. The sisters were older. They were ready to move on, and so when they put it up for sale, that was the thing. We came to look at it on a Wednesday, and she was doing the estate sale in this house, and she called me on Friday and said, "Donna, I'm not trying to rush y'all, but I've got a lot of offers." And she said, "You're the only people that are going to save the house. So I want you to have it." So we got in touch with the banker.
We basically just talked about it. We wasn't, like.
We weren't in a hurry.
Right.
No, but when she called, then Donna, her eyes got real big. She said, "Okay, we need to seriously talk about this."
Yes, we need to do this. And it was too good to pass up. It was just too good to pass up. So we got a hold of the banker and started things happening, and we were able to get it.
Nice.
So.
It's always amazing how things come together when you want it to come together. And sometimes you're kind of like, I want to hurry up and get this done, but it's not the right time.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, one day, you wake up and all of a sudden you found that one lost puzzle piece and you're able to put it in there, and then everything just kind of flows together.
It goes from there.
This fell at our feet, basically.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, yes, we love it.
Sorry, I had to get a quick picture.
I like it.
So how many acres do you have right now under vine?
Right now, about 5, I think.
Close to 5. Well, I would say closer to 4 right now, but we're working on phase 3, which will be the Texas natives over there. And we have Blanc du Bois over here. We have Lenoir right here. And then the phase 3 is going to be Wild Mustang, Champanelle, and then all the TV Munson grapes that we've gotten from A&M.
Oh.
They're going to all be out there in that one.
Okay, I'm going to make a quick comment, not to change topics. So the camera that I've got is an AI sensing camera, okay? And it senses hand gestures.
Okay.
And you made a gesture, and all of a sudden the camera moved, and I'm like, okay. I don't know what you...
I made it move. Do I need to sit on my hands? Because I talk with my hands.
No, I got to do the whole thing, too. It was just, I'm sitting here looking, and I'm like, what just happened to the camera? Hey, again,
it's fine.
It's a learning process. Everything, you have to start new from somewhere, and you got to fail once in a while before you can, make better. So, so you got a lot of Munson varietals out here. So what do you got out there?
Well,
that's actually an interesting story.
Very interesting.
Okay.
I might as well tell the whole story.
So we, of course, started going to a lot of agri-life stuff, a lot of A&M things, learning, and Michael Cook and Justin Shiner and just getting friends. Amit, Dr. Dingra at A&M, we became friends with all of them. And so somehow for some reason.
Oh, we got to do a shout out to Andrew.
And Andrew King. Yay, Andrew. So he's the tree guy. So I don't know. We ended up being like the last person at a couple of sessions. And Justin would go, "Oh, I had these grapes to give away." And he goes, "Yeah, y'all take them." So we started taking home grapes. And then he asked Justin if we could get us some Champanelle. And he goes, "Yeah, I'll do you some Champanelle." So he had them rooted over there at A&M, and we got those. And then we went back we did Spirited Learning at A&M in November. We were there in November. And Michael was like, "I have all these grapes out here. You want them?" And so they started sending us all these grapes home with us. And Dwayne was like, "We've got sucker written across our head," I think, because they're needing to get rid of these grapes. But they're Munson grapes. And so we have our philosophy for doing this for 2 reasons. One, we have 2 farms. We are seasonal, and the trees don't need us when the grapes do, and the grapes really don't need us when the trees do. And so this can be a year-round thing. Now, we overlap a lot in the spring where both of them need us, but for a little while.
Right.
But so we're really hustling during that time. But for the most part, we can fill the year up with 2 farms but work year-round. But I didn't want to choose grapes that were going to be high maintenance. I wanted something that I know likes it here, that is going to be okay, low disease, prone, and those disease resistance as much as we can, and just the ones that are going to be it's easier to work with. And so I can go buy pick pool from somebody else if I want to make a pick pool, But for my estate wines, we don't have enough to grow everything, obviously.
Right.
But our specialties, whatever they end up being, which we're still learning and doing, figuring that out. But what they're going to be from wine grapes that are not vinifera, and they're going to be something here. So it really was a beautiful thing that Justin and Michael started giving grapes to us, because they are Texas grapes.
Yeah.
That is, and reading about them and looking up, all their things, they're going to be amazing, I think. We don't know, but we're going to find out, because we're just challenged.
They're telling us right now, because when we were at Spirited Learning, I just asked Michael Cook, I said, are we the only ones that's actually growing these grapes? And he said, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Unless you tell me somebody
in
else,
Texas.
East Texas is doing it, so.
Well, I mean, tell me what the varietals are,
Okay,
Bob.
I'll tell you. So Champanel, other people are growing that.
Yeah, I know a couple people doing Champanel.
We know Champanel's out there for sure. But we have Hussman,
Have not heard of that one.
Nidodale,
Not that one.
Mrs. Munson.
Now, that one might be down at the Grayson College.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, a lot of these
I'm sure
probably
Grayson
are.
has
Well,
them.
I mean, you just asked me if there's somebody growing them.
Yeah.
We didn't know about Grayson, but I'm talking about actually making wine.
Okay.
Like somebody, just a winery or
No, I don't know anybody who's doing those.
that's doing those. And so we have Fern Munson, we have Delicatessen. Now, Kraus, was that a Munson or is that a different
That's
one?
Kraus.
It's a Kraus.
A guy named Kraus came over.
And then Munch or Munk, I don't know what that is. And then Salamander.
Okay. So I need to know when those are going to be turned into wines. And I want to be out here and I want to try them.
Everybody needs a glass of salad.
A salamander. How are we going to sell salamander wine? I'm not sure, but
I mean,
A glass of lizard lick. Yeah, there you go.
You can call that chicken feed.
there you go. There you go.
I mean, because chickens love, salamanders, and it's Pollo Rosa.
Pollo Rosa.
Chicken feed.
Chicken feed.
There you go. See?
There you go. It works.
I'll copyright off that one right now. Copyright will Donahue 2025.
So we're just getting started with those. We're going to have to get these up and then start doing our own propagating from those, because we've propagated everything. We haven't bought a single grapevine.
Nice.
We propagated everything. We go help people prune, get what we want, bring it back, root our own. We know the rootstock. We know what it is, and so and it's been great so far. I mean, probably a little slower. We have to wait a year longer really to harvest than you normally would.
With Christmas tree.
Yeah, we are.
And be patient.
We understand delayed gratification. I mean, because we have to wait 6 years for a tree to sell. So we're okay with that, and we're okay with working it like that. But that's just our choice. I mean, some people have turned their noses up at us for kind of going that direction, but that's our choice.
You got like all these cool different kinds of European grapes that people are growing, and they have this patented root stock, and we're like, nah, we just planted sticks.
We did. We put sticks in the ground.
Literally, you planted sticks in the ground.
We and turned into
okay.
a vineyard.
I have to respect that, because you don't hear people doing that. They want the whole root stock.
TNF did that. TNF did sticks. They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, we're not the only ones, but we did this. I mean, if you've seen I don't know, you haven't walked through the vineyard yet, but I mean, the Blanc is lovely, and it was everything was a stick.
Let me tell you my experience about Blanc de Bois. Okay, I don't know if y'all have heard my story of this yet.
No.
So Mother's Day, I think it was last year. Actually, it was last year or the year before. Terra Vineyards for Mother's Day. I went out there and surprised my mom for Mother's Day out there. She didn't know I was coming. Showed up. And I'm OCD about my drinks on the table, okay? My water has to be on the right side. My wine has to be on the left side. It's just my OCD moment, okay? So they bring me water out there, and then I've never had Blanc de Bois before, and they brought it out, and they set it on the table for me. Wasn't paying attention, and I set it on my left side. Yes. Sorry, my right side, where my water is, and moved my glasses over because, I didn't think much about it, and picked up my water to take a drink of it, and I'm like, oh, this is really good water. What kind of water is this? and they actually said, oh, that's the Blanc de Bois. They had filtered it so much that took the color out of it, and it was almost the color of water.
Wow. And
when they did that, I'm like, oh, that was very interesting. Mm-hmm. That was my first experience of Blanc de Bois. And then out at Bar Ditch was my second experience with Blanc de Bois, and she doesn't even filter.
She does not filter hers.
And it was all real orange and stuff. And I was like, me and Lorinda was out there, and we, not going to lie, we were both very skeptical about it, you know, because you filter out your whites, and she didn't filter it, and we tried it. We're like, wow, got a lot of nectarine out of it. Oh man, and apricots. It was really, really amazing. And so you don't hear a lot of people west of East Texas growing Blanc de Bois because Blanc de Bois loves that water. Gimme.
Yeah.
And so East Texas is very watery, and over here we're not as watery. So for y'all to be growing it here, I'm actually can't wait to taste it when y'all get y'all Verado going and get it into a wine.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'll be our first one when we're ready. We've got a little bit back there that we're playing with this year. We did a mini harvest, and we'll do a bigger harvest this year. I'm excited to see what it ends up, being like. But because that's our first one, really. We did a little mini harvest of our Lenoir, and that only had about 5 or 6 plants that were ready to, to make. And it's very little.
We also helped them up there.
Oh yeah, we went up to Firelight up north
in Valley View.
Firelight, and they needed some help cleaning up.
Meredith.
And so we went up there. Michael put it out there, and we went up there and helped.
Grapes off, throwing them in
a bucket.
And Michael comes out and he said, "Man, you gotta take those home." I said, "Oh,
yeah, we will." I know it was breaking our heart to see them just be thrown away. So we loaded them up.
I'm not going to lie. When I helped harvest RK, and I was going through, and we were going through the shaker table and all that, throwing away the good ones, and I'm sitting like, but this is a good grape.
I know.
and Grace was like, no, it's not a good grape. Throw it in the bucket. And I'm like, but it's a good grape.
It looks like a good grape.
It's got one green one on it. What's wrong with it?
Oh, I know. That's when we helped harvest over at Whiskey Road. He had so much, and it was just, and so anything, he was just tossing stuff, and I was like, oh, no.
I'll take
those. Yeah.
Oh, man. It's always funny when you do that kind of stuff, and you're sitting there like, but it's still a good grape. Just because it's not where you want it to be doesn't mean it's a bad grape,
There needs to be a place for those mediocre grapes.
Right. Well,
Lost Toys or whatever.
They... Are you really went that way? Well, you know what the saying is. You can always make good wine from bad grapes, but you can always make bad wine from good grapes. So if you got bad grapes that someone else doesn't want it, you could turn around and make it into something amazing. Win a gold out of it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
We're always up for a challenge. That's what we're not. We're not set on any certain path. We are like, okay, we'll try that. Right. Oh, we'll experiment with that. Yeah, we love that. So,
well, it's nice, like having sucker written on their forehead. They're giving us all these. We're like Mikey. You remember Mikey?
Yes.
Just give it to Mikey.
Just Mikey, he'll eat it.
He'll eat it. Yeah.
So I'm like, give it to the Patricks. They'll plant it. Okay, yeah.
Well, so you made a comment when you said you had a Trebbiano done by
Sage.
Sage. You had the Trebbiano done by Sage. Okay, and you said you had another one done by Kerrville. And then you had a rosé done also by Sage as well.
Yeah, four of our wines are Sages.
Okay.
Our 4 main staples are Sages. That's where when we went. We did a lot of just grueling research for this. It was traveling around Texas, drinking wine. It was just awful.
You need to travel some more? You got to take some more wine?
Yeah, we need some more. But so we talking to people, he took a notebook and he took notes every place we went. we sat down with the owner as many places as we could. If not, then whoever was in charge, and asked questions.
Right.
And one of the questions that he always asked was, what is your advice? But then also, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? And so we saw, just a lot of people talk through a lot of things. Well, I would change the, one, we were in East Texas, and this one, he's from Spain and makes some really good wines. And he had this fabulous Spanish mansion thing there, and it was gorgeous. And so we were talking to him. We were the only ones there that afternoon. That's what I like, is when we get there and we're the only ones there, because we got their attention.
Is it in Rockwall?
It's close.
Go, Sam.
Something is a Spanish style.
Oh, Rossini.
I bet it is.
Rossini,
I bet it is.
Yes, Rossini's amazing.
He's from Spain.
He's from Spain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he asked him, he said, what would you do differently? And he said,
It's
this.
funny. Yeah, it was funny the way he said it. He just kind of looked around and he said, this? I wouldn't do any of this. I'd sell my wine out of the barn.
Oh,
Yeah. He's like, this is all, it's too much, and I just sell wine out of a barn. That was, so Dwayne said, well, our place is going to be kind of sort of Margaritaville, sort of Lukenbach. And he looked at Dwayne, he said, I like Lukenbach. So
I like your idea there. I like it. I really dig it. Now that I hear that, yeah, okay.
yeah. So, cause I'm very Margaritaville. I love, I love the beach and all that stuff. And he's Lukenbach, wants to go to the mountains, and
No one's
so
feeling any pain.
So yeah. so we had to kind of merge our two attitudes to create this. And so that's what he had said.
But the majority of the people that we interviewed, had their wineries, and we like going to the mom and pop places because that's what we were going to be.
Right.
And everybody pretty much said, get wine in front of your customer as soon as possible.
Get open.
Don't wait. And it's the same thing in Christmas trees.
Yeah.
We sell retail. We have a retail lot at our tree farm. So we bring in northern trees. So I was selling northern trees before I ever sold any of my trees.
Wow.
So the concept's the same.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Build your base.
Get your customer base built up. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of wines, but people can come here and find one they like.
Right.
And they do.
So we went out and met with Michael and Wes and started that process and got 4 of our wines. So our Sunset, our Pink Flamingo Glow, which is the rosé.
Which is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yes.
People like that. And then our Janita, which is our sweet red. And then our Trebbiano, our Sunshine, is the sweeter white. So we don't have anything really sweet. So we don't, those people who come in and go, I just do sweet, I can make margaritas for them. So,
Well, here's how you change that, okay?
Right.
It's teach them the 4 different principles of tasting wines. And when you teach them that, they'll understand it. Because, okay, I'm going to say this little piece right quick, all right? And this is for all you sweet people out there, because I'm not a sweet guy at all. But I mean, a lot of reasons why, and I'm going to tell you from my experience, the reason why a lot of people drink sweet wines is because somebody gave them a big, fat, bold cab, and they drank it, and they're like, I don't like
it. Yeah.
And they think all wines are like that. And one of the things that I love doing is education.
Right.
And so when people come into the winery where I work at, I teach them, hey, let's do a tasting. Let me teach you how to do this. Let me teach you how to smell and look and taste and think about what you're doing. And when you teach them that, they stop and think about it. It's like, it's actually not too bad after all.
Right.
And I love doing that. I love seeing the people's looks on their face after you do that.
Oh, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
We've had people in here that said,
I don't do wine.
You don't really have anything I like. And then they wind up taking a bottle home. I'm like, well, he didn't like that one, but he bought it.
My favorite accomplishment is, as I had a lady come in, they were at a conference at the Gaylord, and they were from Missouri. So we know Missouri makes no wine. Sorry, people from Missouri. Well, it's all sweet wines. And she comes in, she sits down, and she goes, do you have any sweet wines? I was like, yeah, I got a whole bunch of sweet wines. And I said, why do you drink sweet wines? She goes, well, because I don't know anything about wine. And I said, if you do a tasting, I'll walk you through this. I'll teach you about wine. I'll give you full-on tasting experience. I'll explain to you about wine. I did the whole 9 yards. And by the time we were get done, she actually bought a half a case of wine.
Wow.
Bought 3 whites and 3 reds. And she goes, if I ever had somebody when I was younger to sit down in front of me and teach me what you taught me, I would have never drank sweet wines. And she actually came back in about a month ago, and she goes, I have not drank another sweet wine since you came in. And I'm like, yes, I converted one person out of a billion people in this world. If I died now, I would die happy. But I mean,
my reward.
We've got customers now that they come in, there's one that they like, and that's all they ever drink. And then they had a deal downtown the other day, and some of them, that particular wine wasn't available, so they was drinking these that we had available, and they said, why didn't you tell me about this?
Mm-hmm.
It was there all along. You just got hung up on that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it happens. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give a shout out to Lonesome Vine for this one. They have Smitten that I was smitten over, literally. And every time I went out there, I had to have a bottle of it.
Right.
And I actually bought their last bottle Sunday.
Oh, wow.
The very last bottle. And Andrew and Christy signed it for me. So,
that's cool.
That would be the very last bottle, if I ever die, that I will drink. But telephone.
Geico. Do you want to turn? You want us to turn it off?
No, it's okay. It'd be great. Let it ring.
Okay.
You know.
2 more, we're done.
So now that you figure out what kind of concept you're going to do here, so how did you come up with Pollo Rosa? I literally have to know that. Okay.
We were drinking.
Great ideas come from drinking, right?
Right. So we were all in a bar.
We were actually lost.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead.
But we were sitting around drinking, and our friends were all there, and we were telling them, we're moving forward on this. We hadn't got this place yet. Mm-hmm. We hadn't found it, but we were seriously moving forward. We hadn't had this yet. So we were just talking through the dream. Mm-hmm. We were dreaming. And so our friends were sitting there, and one of them said, well, what you going to call it? Mm-hmm. And we had looked at a place off the Brazos. And I'm
call it
Vino de la Brazos. And so would be so, it rolls off the tongue. But I'm so thankful we didn't get that because it was 45 minutes away and we have to be here every day. Right. And I'm so glad we're not making that trek every day. It would have been rough. And there was so much limestone there. There was so much limestone there after being at Dove Ridge and the fabulous wines that they drilled into the limestone to plant. They're incredible, but that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
And so
they owe you money now for that plug.
We love Dove Ridge. So I'm thankful, so thankful that we didn't buy that place. But so we were still just in the infant stage, just trying to dream stuff up. And so we really hadn't thought about a name so much until they asked. And he, being much like his father, a jokester, just off the top of his head said, let's just call it pink chicken wine, And he was just teasing. He was teasing because there's nothing about pink chicken wine that was interesting to him at the time. And I was like, ooh, I like that. And he was like, no, just kidding. And so my friend sitting next to me goes, oh, Donna, your pink chicken could be a big pink flamingo.
There you go.
Because in Spanish, so Pollo Rosa sounds pretty, but flamingo in Spanish is still flamingo.
Right.
So pink flamingo still does it. It just didn't sound as pretty. Right. And it'd be long. It's on, too long for the labels and stuff like that. But so pink chicken was funny. And when you think about a couple things that have come up since then, a flamingo is just a big old Texas chicken, right? It's just a big Texas pink chicken. But you also go back to Beverly Hillbillies and Granny.
You did not go that way.
Yeah. Granny sent Jethro out to get a chicken. And he came back and goes, they've got the biggest pink chickens in this place, And so that you can attach it several places.
Oh my gosh.
But that's how we ended up with it because Pollo Rosa was pretty and we liked it. And then the pink chicken was our flamingo. And so we went from there.
That is the greatest story for coming up with a winery name I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I like to tell people the way we came up with We Know Texas Vino is we were drinking Texas vodka coming up with it. But my story doesn't compare to y'all's now.
No. We all have good stories.
Oh, yeah. And, that's what I love about doing this podcast is I like to sit down with y'all and hear y'all's stories. Because, you just don't wake up one day. It's like, I'm going to do a vineyard, and one day, I wake up and like, you know what? I'm going to name my winery XYZ.
Yeah. You
don't do that. It's life experiences and the people that come into your life and the people that.
Well, since he went there, tell him about Jan.
Oh, so the lady that was my friend that was sitting with us and said, you can do the pink flamingo. Her name was Jan. And we all called her Jan, but hung out with her for a long time. And she was a widow as well. And so she was in a group that I hung out with. And she was with me the night that I met him. So it was, we're all part. It was a tribe there. So she's the one that came up with the pink flamingo. And then during COVID, she just was freaked out about COVID and would not come out of her house, and she wouldn't do anything. And so she just locked herself away for that year. But which was sad. We tried to get her, come out to the farm. You can stand 6 feet away from me at the farm. We'll be outside, just come hang out. But we couldn't get her to. But anyway, she was a precious soul, but she ended up passing away from another disease, a rare disease. And we had missed her for that, that shutdown time.
Right.
And anyway, so it was really sad. But she had beautiful red hair, sweet. So I told everybody, our first sweet red will be named after Jan. And so when we went to the funeral, I found out her given name was Janita, and I didn't know that. And so I was like, okay, so our first sweet red will be Janita, and that will be named after Jan. So it is.
I'd like to point out one thing too, that she got through this whole thing without shedding.
I did.
No, she kind of paused for a second. I saw it. I'm going to say this. Me processing my wine, okay, learning to do this winemaking stuff and try to come into this also. We always amazed by the people that come into our life, even if it's for 5 minutes. The people that come into our lives and how it influences for the rest of our lives,
Right.
and we keep referencing them. And I have some issue at my house with my DirecTV, and AT&T had kept canceling my appointment. Well, finally, I was like, you know what? If you don't get a guy out here to fix this, I'm canceling the service altogether. So this guy comes out there. He was actually from Italy.
Ooh.
And he went into one of my rooms where I have all my wine stocked in there and stuff. And we get to talking about wine and tell him that all my wine is from Texas Wines. And he looked at me like I had like 17,000 different heads, because he goes, Texas does not make wine. I said, you'd be surprised what Texas does. And so we get to sit there talking and stuff. We actually opened a bottle here because I was his last call for the day. So we ended up opening a bottle. We get to talking and stuff. And he said, in Italy, we talk about wine as being alive. And he said it was called El Vino e Vivo. And when he said that, it made me pause for just a second.
Oh, yeah.
And I sit there and I thought about it. I said, I love that. I love hearing the wine is alive, but it just doesn't resonate as well as saying El Vino e Vivo. And it just resonates a lot more on that. And so now on my first bottle of Tempranillo that I made, it on the label, it says El Vino e Vivo on it. And then every bottle will have, instead of a generic image on it, it's going to have a real life image of something on there that reflects what that bottle is. And then each bottle will have the story why it was named a certain thing.
I love that.
And again, he only came to my life for like 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes tops. But he impacted it so much, just like your friend Jan did, that we were like, we want to do this.
Right.
And that's what I love about life. I love about wine is because wine is alive and it brings out the best in people.
And that's another thing that you made me think about this, sitting and talking to people about their wines, but looking at their labels. All their labels tell stories. And the really good ones do. Mine's kind of bland, but like ours just has pink flamingo on it. But it just says drink me.
Hey, you know what? There's a bottle right there. There's just do like a little heart candy on it from the Alice in the Wonderland. It says drink me on it. Copyright Will Donahue 25.
There you go. But one of them that I loved, we were in East Texas again, and this guy, he was so amazing because he said he was walking through his property and he swears he heard the voice of God tell him to plant a vineyard. He said, God told me to do this. It was the one who has his daughter's pictures on all the labels. I don't remember. It was so cold that day and we were there. It was in January because they showed me how to do the TTB thing. They were like, yes, you have to do this TTB thing. They showed it to me. I was like, oh my gosh. And so, but now I've done my first one, so I'm good.
What city was that in?
I don't know. We just drive through, and if we find a winery, we stop, and sometimes I don't know what city it was, but it was East Texas. We were coming back from somewhere, maybe coming back from Sages, but he is all of the
3 Ps.
I remember it. We've been to so many.
Would it be 3 Ps?
No. We've been to 3 Ps. They're the ones that build the log cabins and all that stuff. They're fun. They're amazing. Yes, we love 3Ps.
Yes.
But
Shout out.
I don't remember the name of this one, but they were fixing to expand. Remember, they had their barrel room there, and they were fixing to move that out and open that up for more seating because they had that little bitty seating space. Gosh, I can't remember. But all of his labels are pictures of his daughters.
Okay.
And the long hair coming. I have one of their bottles at the house. I need to, because I kept it because it was really cool. But but I loved listening to the story. And then, of course, he loved, of course, talking about his daughters and who, what they mean, who they are and what they do. And because all of them had something to do with the winery,
Right.
And so, but they were beautiful. So I loved hearing stories of people's labels and where they came from.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's the fun thing right there,
know.
And then, of course, you got, I mean, I'm not knocking any winery, but then you got some that's just got the generic label,
Yeah.
And I get that, they're big.
we have a flamingo.
Yeah, you have a story. You have a story about a flamingo. I'm not going to lie. When we drank that at Sage, my mom fell in love with that bottle. And she looked at me and she goes, when are we going to go? I was like, I don't know. So right now she's actually in Breckenridge right now. And I told her I was coming here and she was not very happy with me.
Well,
we'll have to come.
You will come back.
Yeah, we'll definitely come back. I love supporting my local wineries.
Yes.
So here's a little tough question. Okay. So y'all have been in the wine industry now, what, 2 years now?
We actually
3 years?
We've only been open for.
We've been open since
months.
June, but we planted our first grapes in March of 21.
Okay. So you got a couple years in your belt on the vineyard part of it. But the tasting room, got the tasting room 6 months, 8 months, almost not quite a year yet.
Yes.
So we're going to ask a tough question here. So where do you see Texas wines in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, if I have my say so, it's gonna be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we try to recruit people. I mean, right now, as far as I'm going to go back to Christmas tree, but I have a method to my madness.
Oh, that's fine. I do too. I do the same thing.
So, in Texas right now, the Christmas tree industry is lacking. We need more tree growers. And with that in mind, we're on a crusade to get more people involved in the Christmas tree growing industry because there's not enough supply for the demand.
Right.
And a lot of the old timers are either retiring or dying out, and there's not enough people coming in to replace them.
Correct.
So we're on that crusade, but at the same time, we're on another crusade telling Christmas tree farmers, you know what? You've got that extra 5 acres over there. You ought to be planting grapes. And it's taking hold. Some tree farmers are actually thinking about it.
Nice.
And we're going to have the spring Christmas Northfield Day, Christmas tree Northfield Day at our farm this year, and that's going to be one of the topics.
Yeah,
Nice.
Michael's coming.
Michael will be there.
We have Amit coming. We have Andrew King coming, and then we have Michael Cook there.
Andrew.
So when is this happening again?
April 5th. And
April
so
5th.
it's
I will. So interesting.
Hang out with us.
Interesting fact that you actually said, if you got property just sitting there and you're not doing anything with it, grow grapes. Well, my folks actually have 5 acres in East Texas. And fortunately, my uncle recently passed away, and my mom and my stepdad are using that to clear that property from all the underbrush and all the trees and stuff. And I've talked them into doing a vineyard. I said, you don't have to make the wine, just grow the grapes.
Grow the grapes.
I mean, I'll turn it into wine, or somebody will want the grapes. And in fact, they actually don't live too far from Sage. I mean, they'll probably pick it up. I mean, somebody will pick up the grapes, And so we're in the process of doing that. And I wanted them to come out here for that. I think that'll be beneficial for them. In fact, actually, we're going to be at Twigga March 3rd and 4th also.
I'm trying to talk for him too. So.
Well, you still got time.
I know.
I'll be there. I'll be broadcasting.
Yay.
No, I'd really like to go. I really would.
Yeah, we weren't sure. Well, we had other things, but some things have moved around, and now that is potentially open. We've been to Grape Camp, loved it, but we've never been to the conference.
She did. I mean, they started doing all kinds of mathematical equations on the screen, and I'm like, Facebook.
I'm not going to lie. Anytime that there's math that comes in, okay, I'm not going to lie. Being a winemaker and this whole conversion from like gallons and liters and grams and stuff like that, and I glass over and I'm like, okay, is there an app for that?
There's an app for that.
So I'm sorry, I just can't do that. Math.
Yeah. Well, and all the chemistry parts. So they start talking, all the chemistry and all those, and
this big huge smile on her face. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I see lines and numbers. I don't even know what those mean. What's the small numbers for? It means it's a smaller amount.
Let's get to the bottom where it's
man. I want to see the black or green. I don't want to see anything else.
She's over there smiling. She's a number. She's like,
yeah.
I'm like, are you drunk?
Oh, no.
Oh, that's funny. Well, you know what? I want to back up one step. I missed a question. So,
we never actually answered your question.
Oh,
I'm keeping track.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, finish the question.
No, we never asked. Where do we see
it?
Texas.
5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I started it. It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger. A&M, shout out to A&M. I'm not a graduate, but y'all can take me in by proxy. But they've actually got some good online.
Well, all the educational pieces all over Texas are getting bigger.
I'm plugging A&M.
Okay.
Take notes here.
But anyway, no, they're making huge strides. Okay, huge, and with what they're doing, and of course you got Lubbock still doing all their things, and I really think that we're behind California and some other states, but we're going to be big contenders in a few years. We're going to be bigger.
I agree.
Contenders.
I tell everybody that comes into the winery, I said, they asked me about Texas wine industry. Where are we at? I said, well, it depends on what articles you read online. We're between 3, 4, and 5. Depends on what you read.
Yeah.
But Texas wine industry right now is where California was in the 80s. Still emerging, trying to figure out what does good here. And once we figure that out and we get a dial on Mother Nature, literally we got to get a thermostat on her real fast.
Right.
Once we've done that, we're going to explode. I know last year we had an amazing growing season last year. We had that early rain, lots of abundant rain. A lot of vineyards didn't have to water all through the summer and stuff because their soil was still wet from all that rain that we had. And then we had that nice heat. It wasn't extreme heat, but it was heat.
It was perfect.
And it made those grapes want to be growing. And actually, one of my good friends that owns Piaf down in Grapevine, hey there, buddy, he actually calls it happy grapes. And so those grapes got all that nice little no sun and kind of stressed out and got all that good flavors and stuff like that. And we had a ton of extra grapes this year. Like it was crazy how much we had left over. And but the sad thing about it is there was no one wanting to buy those. You know?
The last couple of years I've been hearing that there's a lot of like for us right now, we're buying some wines and stuff. It's not hard for us to buy wines because there's too many people have surplus.
Right.
And I hate that for some places that actually do custom crush because
that's their thing.
It's taken away from them too. So, but we can get our grapes. We can get all kinds of shiners. Put our names on them and have some
because they're surplus.
Right.
But one of the things that I heard, we were at a symposium and he's in the High Plains. I can't remember his name. He's in the High Plains, but he is kind of looks at all of the grape varietals that are available. And he said he's really hoping that we can whittle down and find the things that are really gonna make it, that and whittle down. Everybody's trying a lot of things.
Right.
The varietals, there's so many different varietals available, and everybody's and so as soon as we figure out, like you said, we got to get a thermostat on Mother Nature, but also really then we got to key
There's
in.
nothing wrong with him bringing another bottle.
But then key in on really the ones that are going to make us, because, California has their cab.
Yes.
And they have those, and, the different Oregon, Washington, they have their, but, and we don't need to have one, but I think we need to find the ones.
Yes.
That are going to be it.
I think the ones that Texas has that really does really, really good here is
Tempranillo.
Oh my gosh.
Petite Sirah.
If you go like this, it'll zoom in. Oh, they didn't do that.
They don't have salamander yet.
Yeah. Wait till salamander comes out.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good Tempranillo name right there. Or chicken feed, copyright 2025. But I mean, Tempranillo grows amazing here. Low amount of water it needs, and it loves heat. Give it some heat. And another varietal that does really good here, and a lot of people don't know about it, is Toragado.
Oh.
Toragado is another grape that doesn't like a lot of water, but loves the heat.
Yeah.
Like it's a very thick skinned grape. Yes.
Yes.
I think it's Italian.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's our problem. We don't mix European.
Yeah, we can't mix our Europeans with our
why not?
natives. Disease. No, it's
no.
Disease, yeah.
Here's a disease.
Well, make it into a wine and then mix it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I was like, when you said mix it, I'm thinking, processed, already mixed your wine.
Oh, make it.
And then mix it together. I'm like, well, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, growing them. Yes.
Growing them's a problem.
Yeah, growing them's a different thing.
No, we can buy it.
We do have, we are growing a Petite Sirah, but it's not here.
It's in another vineyard.
It's Jellystone Park.
On 35.
Are you serious?
Yeah. When you pull in, there's a vineyard right there. And they bought some.
All right, folks. Well, if you see some grapes missing one night,
but anyway,
that's awesome that y'all doing that there. They just let you do it.
Yeah.
Well, that vineyard's been there for I don't know how many years, and it was just horrible looking. And so I told her one day, I said, "Why don't just call them and see if they'll let us take it over?" And she called and they said, "Yeah, please. When can you start?" What
was the vineyard there? There was a tasting right there in that area.
No. This is in the Jellystone Park, and he just wanted it. The owner just wanted it for looks. And it was all table grapes. And so he sent his people to Walmart to buy table grapes, and they planted them. But then nobody knew how to prune them, care for them. They were watering them with a sprinkler in the middle. And watering them that way. And it was like, no. And so, but every time we went by, they were just so unruly, you know, and
very unkept.
And so we started going in and training them and doing, and then a lot of them had died. So we filled in with Petite Sirah. So
nice.
We did that
That's
out there.
Awesome.
So now, again, that's another place that we have to be. And so it doesn't get all of our attention, but it's gotten
all around the world.
So we've been trying to take care of that and get that raised up for them. It's for them, but they said if we have a harvest, it's ours. So
that's cool.
It's really cool. It's fun. Cool. But on that 35 in that similar area, there is that other little winery up on the hill. Is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
about.
Sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's not actually producing wine anymore. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they're growing anymore.
Story about this guy.
Oh.
Years ago, our tree farm is called Sunset Hill Tree Farm.
Okay.
And so he came out and walked out into the field. I was working out there, and I said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm putting in a winery, and I would like to call it Sunset Winery. Would you have a problem with that?" And I actually looked at him and said, "I ain't ever going to grow any grapes. I don't care." I actually said those words.
That's great. He actually set the seed in your head.
It could have.
He set the seed in your head.
There you go.
Well, I do have one more question. So
just one more. I thought we had like 2 hours to do this.
Well, I mean, we can keep on going. I mean, I can make this a 2-parter. I had no problems with that. So you have Kerrville Hills, John Rivenberg doing your wine, and you have Michael and Wes over at Sage doing y'all's wine. Are y'all ever going to do it eventually in y'all's own house, or y'all just always going to?
We've been making wine on our kitchen table. I finally have a kitchen table back. This after years.
Oh, yeah, you should have seen our house. It looked like a lab.
It was
People
so.
would come over. Where you want to sit?
Well, we have to sit outside or something because we don't. The kitchen is full of wine.
It's 19 degrees outside. You got to sit outside.
Everybody gather around the coffee table. But so yeah, we didn't have gatherings at our house very much. But we've been playing with wine in carboys and and stuff for a while. And that's what we started the Wild Mustang. We made pear wine. We made peach wine. We made our blackberry wine. Oh my goodness, it was so good. And so, but all small batch, and so that's where we are. And in our wine room over there, we have some Blanc du Bois. We have that little piece of Linois. We have our Wild Mustang for this year is going to be just as good as last year.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it. And we
can't make enough jalapeno pear.
And we make pear wine, and we tried several flavors to see what we could do with the pear. We harvest pears here. There are Johnson County pears, Johnson County Mustangs. Our peaches, we had to go to Weatherford to gather those because we just didn't have enough in those in this county, but that's close enough. But we go out and harvest and bring that all in and then make those wines ourselves. Nice. And our pear wine, we tried a basil pear, which was good, but it wasn't amazing. We did a spice pear. So that's your very fall cinnamon, cloves, that kind of thing. It was really good. Nice when you warmed it up. And then we did a jalapeno pear. Now the jalapeno pear was a huge hit, especially it was interesting because we'd have these men come in with their wives and they're like, no, I just drink whiskey.
Right.
I'm just a whiskey guy.
Right.
And okay, well, let you try this one.
Right.
And then they were hooked on it because it gave them the bite that they were looking for. It was, and so the jalapeno pear was big with the men, the whiskey drinkers. But everybody loved it. And so we have our plain straight pear. It's just an off dry white wine and it's fabulous. And then we have the jalapeno pear. So this next year, I think those are the only two we're going to make. I think we'll just leave it because those were the two biggest hits. But those things, our little small batch goes so fast, because we're only a few cases of each one. So as we grow, and of course the next dream is the processing barn right out there, and all the equipment and so that we can do our stuff in volume. Dream. Dream, nightmare.
Hey, it depends on the eye of the beholder, or what's the saying? Eye of the
it's an eye of the beholder. Yeah. So but Wintergrass out here, Tyler has offered to let us take, if we have a harvest this year, if we want to buy grapes, which we're playing with our Linois, and if we decide that we like what we got, because we're looking at doing a port with that.
Yeah,
and so
Linois makes great port.
A great port. And this one, when I tasted it the other day, I was like, oh man, this is a port, and so it's the base for a good port. I can taste it. So, he has some extra space and has offered to let us in a larger scale work out there.
Nice.
And so because we work very closely with, in fact, we've created what we call the Chisholm Wine Trail here. These 4 little wineries that are right here in a few miles away. We have signs on that post out there. It's like Whiskey Road is 6.4 miles this way. And so we've got a little sign directional to show you where to go the other ones. And we have a little frequent flyer card for the 4 of us. And we meet once a month and talk about everything and work together on stuff. So it's
Chisholm Wine Trail.
Chisholm Wine Trail.
You can find us on Facebook.
Yes. So we're working to do things together. Right now, we're all kind of segregated, and because we're not all open at the same time all the time, and so it's a little hard to put things together. But we are. So if somebody comes here, we send them down the road. And
that's awesome.
If somebody goes there, they send them here. So we'll have people show up and go, hey, Ben and Jess told us to come down here, or Tyler and Amy told us to come over here, and we do the same thing. We send people everywhere.
Oh, you gotta say Stephanie
and Stephanie and Kevin over at Stone Trough. So
can't forget them.
Yes.
I'm just going to say, that the beef that they have over there.
Oh man,
you just got to have like a steak night over here.
Yes. Yes.
They
have some good meat.
And the Vinophiles.
They're amazing.
That Vinophile, I tell everybody, go out there and look at this.
Just look at it.
Have wine also.
Oh, yes.
But go to the Vinophile.
They haven't let me in there. I don't dress appropriately.
No, it's not true.
Well, clothes is a thing you have to use.
You have to have have clothes on.
It's hot.
It's not in there where the vinophiles are.
Flip flops in a bathing suit is not acceptable.
So we love everybody all in our little group here, and we work together and coordinate stuff. And so that's been a lot of fun and very helpful.
Honestly, I've been saying this, and I actually believe it, that some of the best wines in Texas are right here.
Or in Johnson County.
Right here in Johnson.
Tyler and Ben, and they're just amazing.
So the soil here in Cleburne is completely day and night from North Texas.
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
completely day and night. And I've looked at the soil. And I've driving out to Stone Trough and out of Wintergrass. I haven't been to
Whiskey Road yet.
But just look at the soil. You can just see the terrain as you're driving through it. You could tell it's a day and night difference from the area. And so you're going to get different taste out here. You can grow the same varietals in North Texas. I mean, you're considered North Texas also, but the north part of Texas, and you come here and look, you can definitely tell the difference. You can see how the trees and the grass and the rocks and everything that encompasses it. You can see the difference.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, the terroir here
is going to be completely different.
It's completely different. And, actually, I love joking about this. People ask about the Texas wine and, AVAs. I'll just say it like that. And I said, Texas terroir is completely different. I mean, you could literally go to all 4 points of Texas and have a different terroir. And when I tell them that, and they said, "What do you mean by terroir?" So, terroir means everything from soil to the weather patterns to the rain, to
environmental
the sun,
influence.
And I even joke around. I say, even when the bug passes by and farts on the vine. Again, humor is the essence of life, And I tell them that, and they laugh about it. And I said, but literally everything that goes on outside affects that grape. It affects the flavor. And I'm not bashing California, but a lot of those large mass productions, they like to bring their grapes down to molecular level and bring it back up and have the same flavor across every year. And I tell them, Texas does not want that. We want you to taste every year. We want you to know we had a bad season. We want you to know we had a good season. We want you to know that this season was the most amazing season we ever had by just opening the bottle and taste it.
We want you to know what that bug had for dinner.
No, but that is the uniqueness. The uniqueness of every.
Left that door open.
I know, that's my fault. Oh man,
I love it.
But yeah, Texas has a lot of good, unique wines here.
Oh yeah,
and I love. In fact, actually, I'm gonna love to tell you the story right quick. I haven't told nobody this. So I'm sitting in Landon about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I had this couple come in, and I noticed he had a lot of green on. And I'm like, okay, man likes green clothes, And I walked over and I said, I'll be with y'all in just a second. And then when he talked, he had a huge European accent. Oh. And I'm like, oh, okay, these are the guys I like to talk to. So I went over there and talked to him for a second. He starts talking to me and I said, let me guess, you're from, and I wanted to say Ireland, but the last time I said someone was from Ireland, they were Scottish. Oh. So I said, you're from like this UK, Scottish, English region. He goes, I'm Irish.
Okay.
He literally looked at me with a straight face and said, I'm Irish. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I introduced myself, explained to him what Landon Winery was and stuff like that. We really got talking and he goes, well, show me some Texas wines. And so I started pouring him Texas wines. And he goes, and excuse my French, he goes, this French crap that I drink over in Europe is crap compared to Texas. And I'm paraphrasing there, by the way. And they came back 3 times.
Wow.
For the whole week they were there.
Wow.
Came back 3 times and they bought a couple of bottles also. And they absolutely loved Texas wines. And I told him, I said, the next time you come back, I gave him my number. I said, come back. I'll take you to some other places so you can try Texas wines. But what he told me, he says he's drank a lot of European wines. And he said, nothing can come to compare what Texas has. He says, yes, we've been growing grapes over for eons.
Yeah.
But he says, but Texas has something special. Yeah. And that comes from an Irish person who drinks beer.
Right. Right.
Oh, you can't go wrong with beer. But it's an honor when you hear somebody from the old world come over here and say, our wines are better than what he drinks at home.
There you go.
That right there just
That's a compliment.
Yeah, that is a compliment.
Huge compliment.
We joined Twigga and when we first went down there when she was getting all jiggy over the stuff they were putting on the screen. It's been a few years ago, but they were They were all up in arms. And I'm going to say this, and it may hurt some people's feelings, but it's a fact. But there was a TV show or something that had done a comparison to California wines with Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And we were new to the deal, and the first thing is, what did I do?
You made it move.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
But anyway, the first thing that jumped into my head is, this is Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we comparing our wines to other wines? I mean, we should be a standalone
Mm-hmm. We
state.
should.
I mean, our wines are completely different. I mean,
Yeah.
but it was some kind of TV show. I don't remember what it was, but they were all up in arms about it. And first of all, the biggest mistake was to let anybody compare Texas with another wine.
Well,
It came at it as if, could we stand up to them?
Yeah.
It wasn't
It was how does Texas compare to them?
Yeah.
yes.
And I'm like, no,
Well,
it shouldn't.
yeah.
How does theirs compare to us?
Exactly. And I 100% agree with you on that. And we did an event about a year ago, and we did Texas versus Old World.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what we did is blind tasting. We poured an Old World and a new in Texas, and you had to pick which one was Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And for the majority of folks, they picked Texas. And what they thought was Old World was not Old World, it was Texas. And people are finding that Texas wines are very pleasing to the palate.
Right.
And one of the things I really want to do also is I want to do a Texas versus California blind tasting as well. Because I want people, especially people who are non-industry people, I want them to come in here and sit down and drink this wine and say, this is really pleasing to my palate, and it shows it's Texas wine.
Right.
And I love the people who are very much this California. Well, it's great that you like that, but why do you like it?
Right.
Oh, well, because I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't give a reason. And again, I'm not, please understand, folks, I'm not bashing nobody on this,
Right,
okay?
right.
You have to understand that, so when you come to Texas, you have to release your mind and saying that I don't live in California. I'm not, I'm not in California. I'm in Texas, or I'm in whatever region, and open your mind to what you're drinking, because you may be missing out something amazing. My point of the story is that when you go, no matter where you go, you need to open your mind and taste the region.
Right.
Don't taste the state.
Right.
Taste the region. Texas has such great wines. We have such amazing wines, and people need to understand that.
Yeah.
In the day that we start shipping out and we are taking over the shelves in grocery stores and liquor stores, and people are seeing Texas wines there, it's going to be a great day.
Right.
And people are going to start buying it off the shelves, and we want.
Oh, dear.
Man.
I did that.
Yeah, I know. We're beating them up.
Sorry.
So, but here's
I'm going to charge you $50 for that, right?
because here's the thing is when we start volume like that, we've just got to fight that mindset. And then, but we've got to not become what, like you said, California has. We have to keep our uniqueness. We have to maintain that. That has to be our banner and not something we try to get away from or hide.
Yep.
That's what I was saying. I mean, we have to do that because we can't compare our stuff to others because we are a standalone wine. You can't find this soul.
Right.
You can't get these bug parts.
I will always be known as the bug farter guy.
Make sure it goes through.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
No, but seriously, I mean, you can't. I mean, I don't think California could grow a wine. I mean, grape like we do.
Yeah.
And it make it taste like what we do.
Yeah.
But,
So I don't understand why we're trying to compare the two because this is this and that's that.
I agree with you on that 100%. You know, we definitely have something amazing here in Texas, and people need, I'm not going to say need, okay, should recognize that, and should recognize also that what we do here is we want you to understand the love and passion that we put into this. You know, no matter if you are a small mom and pop one to a large scale facilities that are pumping out into HEB.
Yeah.
You know, there's always some good wines out there.
Yep.
So, final thoughts. Is there anything you want our listeners to know about y'all that we haven't talked about?
Well, you know, one of the conversations that we have is how big can we get? You know, I mean, we don't want to be big. I mean,
Right.
I still love walking when I go out. If I don't get to anymore, but back when I got to go to other people's wineries, you walked in and like I said, the owners are there, you can talk to everybody, you can ask questions, and it's, a small, intimate kind of situation.
Right.
And that's what I hate. I love William Chris. And we talked to Chris when we were there at A&M in October, and I love all of that. And what they've done is fabulous, and they've got great wines and all that stuff. But it broke my heart the first time I went out there, and what used to be the cute little tasting room, that little wooden house, was the cutest thing ever. But then you walk in, it's still there. It's the gift shop, but this huge complex,
right.
And so you become disassociated with the original,
right.
And so number one, we won't live long enough to get that big. But number two, I just.
I know. We got RFK working on.
No, okay. All right, we're going to be healthy. But
200 years old, still growing grapes.
I just can't imagine. I'm really picky about us being the ones that people get to talk to. And that's huge. And that's a big deal for us. And I don't want to move away from that. I want us to have a wonderful place here. We've already built a community of people that are amazing. And that's what we want to do. And that's what we had a members party Thursday night. And one of the girls came up to me and she said, "Congratulations on the community you've built here. It's a beautiful thing." Yes. And so that's as big a deal to us as everything else.
Right.
And so I don't want to be in a place.
For me.
It is huge. And that's our big thing is that we want people to love here.
In the Christmas tree business, the Friday after Thanksgiving is when we open up the gates for tree sales. And I told her when we first started getting people lining up on the road to get in, I said, "These people are fixing to unload their paychecks on us. The least I can do is go out and thank them."
Right.
So we go out about 30 minutes before you open up the gate, and we'll walk down, and I'm shaking everybody's hand, but you go to a restaurant, and if the owner or the cook comes out and talks to you, all of a sudden that's the coolest restaurant ever.
That's a big deal.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And so our mindset, we've understood this for a long time. We got to be here. We got to greet these people. We got to be a part of their life.
Yeah.
So we're a part of thousands of people's lives.
Yeah. At both farms, it is thousands of people. And so, but that's just an important point to us. And so if you come here, we want you, I billed it one time as a 2-hour vacation. So, and in the summertime when you come and there's the palm trees and the banana trees and all the flowers, and because we have flowers hanging from the trees, we have it. The summertime is fabulous. Winter is kind of a little sad for us, but because everything's kind of dead. It's still fun. It's still a great place. But and indoors is great too. But when this patios are full and there's flowers and it's beautiful and it's all this stuff, I want people to feel like, because one girl did come in. She said, when I walked through that bottle wall, I was like, "Am I still in Cleburne?" Because so I was like, yes, that's what I want you to feel like you've been, taken away and you've got a little mini vacation, right. here. And I want people to feel that every time they come in here, and that they're cared for and loved. And that stuff is huge for us.
That's huge for people.
Yeah.
Okay. And people love what you do. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm actually, their experience.
Right.
They love experience. And if you can provide an experience that they can't find at another winery and not taken away from everybody else, right. but you have to find that experience that brings people back every time.
That's what we're touting about the 4 wineries right here. It's a different experience in all 4.
Exactly.
There's nothing, you've got great wine everywhere, but you're going to have a different experience, a different, so there's a different attitude, a different look and everything. So that's important.
All right. Now I have one last question. Do y'all play Cheeseburger in Paradise out here?
We do.
We do.
You can't have this Margaritaville type thing without having Cheeseburger in Paradise.
we have a steel drum band that comes out and plays.
Okay.
And they play Jimmy Buffett songs on the steel drum
that
band.
is
of course,
great.
because they play that for us, and they played Cheeseburger in Paradise this time. But yes, I will run Spotify with my Jimmy Buffett stuff on it, and so
my stepdad loves Jimmy Buffett. We'll definitely have to come out here the next time they're in town, and we'll drink until we can't see straight.
There you go. Well, so, I told you have your designated driver, but we're going to have a luau in June, and
we have a lot of things.
We have a lot of things coming up. A lot of fun things coming up.
Working with the Cleveland Railroaders. That's a plug.
Yeah, we're doing a big fundraiser for the Cleveland Pregnancy Center.
Okay,
and that's going to be an all day music thing, and the proceeds will all go to them. And then we've got a lot of fun things coming up.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So all right. So for our listeners who are listening to this, by the way, this will be out tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Video will be out later this week, so I can edit this because somebody over here, if you noticed it actually at one point it zoomed in on you, did something, and it all zoomed right into him. Like, oh crap.
There you go.
I had to fix that. But tell the listeners where they can find y'all online.
Okay. We're in Cleburne, Texas, 1335 East FM4. So we're at the corner of FM4 and 3136 on the way to Grandview. We're open Friday, Saturday, 2 to 9, Sunday, 1 to 8. And then every other Thursday, at this point, we're open, but we have Bible study going on in here. So we
blew everybody's mind.
we have a Bible study group every other Thursday. And if you just show up, then and it's happened. People sell cars here and came in, and we're in the middle of a Bible study, and like, okay, and they hang out.
So out of curiosity, let's talk about the Bible study real quick.
Okay.
So y'all talk about that scripture that says drink wine, it makes you healthy.
I have that one right there, Ecclesiastes, and then I have a Psalms in there that's on the wall. So, and that's one of the things when people tell people they attend a Bible study at a winery, they're like, well, y'all don't drink wine, do you? And they're like, yes. Jesus, first miracle.
Yeah.
You can't walk away from that. So we, and I do one of the things I'm going to teach soon. I'm still making my notes, but there's 2 books out there. There's The Soul of Wine and The Spirit of Wine. It's written by a lady from Germany, and she grew up in a winery. She actually is a theology professor in the U.S. right now, but she wrote these books about the importance of wine in the Bible and just the importance of wine in life, and wine being a gift from God and to be enjoyed.
Yes.
And spiritual. I mean, if we're talking about doing a Passover meal here on that Maundy Thursday, and the Seder meal is built around 4 glasses of wine.
Full glasses of wine.
Full glasses of wine.
We're talking about
we're talking about
4 ounce pours.
No, so we're going to have little glasses, but but your glasses,
little glasses, so you can't fill it all the time. So still the 4 ounce pour.
The glass has to be full, but the whole Passover meal is built around 4 glasses of wine. And that Jewish faith and the early Christians, wine was an important part of their life. And so when
all their celebrations included
wine. It was all a part of it. So when people, like I said, people go out and tell people, I go to this Bible study at a winery, and they're like, so I want them to have some biblical background that they can say, here's wine.
So
here's okay.
I'm not going to bash the Baptist, but you're not Baptist, are you?
Yeah, we are.
Absolutely.
Wow. And you're drinking wine as a Baptist. Okay. Party on, Wayne.
You've got to tread new ground here. We're probably looked at badly, but
But you know what? If you
let me sit down with the Bible and you tell me what you believe, and I'll show you what I believe, and I'm going to come out on top.
I'm just going to say this. This is not a Christian show, and I'm not going to get into theology and stuff like that. But I will say, Jesus Christ was not Baptist. He wasn't Methodist. He wasn't Pentecostal. He wasn't none of that. He was Jesus Christ.
Right.
We're just going to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and finish.
No.
You said the Bible study.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then every other Thursday. And then at some point we may start opening every Thursday, but just come see us. And that 9:00 closing.
That's rough.
A suggestion.
That's a suggestion.
Yeah, we ran them out last night.
It's like that stop sign over there.
Yeah, our stop sign next to us. We watch. It's a suggestion. It's just you don't have to do it.
It's not real. It's a yield.
But we
doesn't
stay
exist.
open. If our patio is solid people and they're having a good time at 9 o'clock, we're here.
If they're still buying wine, let them just go buy.
We're here. So last night I had to make them leave because we had the grandkids and we needed to go home and get them to bed. But it was after 9. But we love being here. We love being with people. We love meeting new people. We love telling people our stories, and it's a fun place to be.
That's what I'm doing here. I want to hear y'all's story.
Yeah.
So where can they find you online? Also?
Oh, online. PolloRosa.pink is our website.
Mm-hmm.
So PolloRosa.pink. And then we're on Facebook, Pollo Rosa Vineyard and Winery. And so we post everything on both places. So you can follow us.
Nice. Well, we come to the end of the first part of the show. All right. We love the conversation we had here. I love y'all's story. I love the conversation we have. I'm glad to meet y'all. You're now friends of my belt now. Whether y'all want to be friends or not, you're my friends now. Okay.
We're just like this.
But we're going to take a few minute break.
Okay.
We're going to get up and stretch our legs, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about education on wine, and we're going to actually talk about wine etiquette tips.
I love it. I
actually had to pull out the wine Bible for this. Okay. Mm-hmm. And for y'all out there who don't know what the wine Bible is, it is wine folly. So I'm going to pull that out for a second. We're going to get up and stretch our legs, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Good deal.
Hi, this is Eric Beyer of Old Vine, Texas, a new winery tasting room featuring 100% Texas wines from wineries all over the state. We are located in Mansfield, Texas, inside of Ancora Event Center on Broad Street. We have weekly tastings, charcuterie board to enjoy, live music, and a new wine club. Go visit our website at oldvinetexas.com to sign up for our newsletter and learn more. Or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Vine Texas. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back, everybody, to We Know Texas Vino. This is probably my favorite parts of the show after the main show of our winemakers is wine education. So to refresh everybody's memory, we're out here at Pollo Rosa out in Cleburne with Dwayne and Donna here, and we've had such a great time with this first part of the show. But let's talk about some education.
Yes.
I love doing education, and a lot of people give me a good feedbacks about. This is a favorite part of our show is the wine education part. So, working in a tasting room, I get to talk to a lot of different people. Okay. And I had one come up and I never really thought about it. And people wanted to know what are some of the wine etiquettes. Okay. So we're going to pull for Wine Folly. If you don't know what Wine Folly is, that is the wine Bible for most, or if not every winemaker or winery tasting room out here. Okay. So I'm going to read the first part here. So under the wine etiquette tips, it says, why do you want wine etiquette? Well, etiquette is one of those things that on the surface seems silly, but can be quite useful in certain situations. So there's some pretty funny ones on here, and there's some things that I didn't really think about. Wow. So we're going to start going through them. There's 2, 5, there's 8 different ones here. So we're going to go through each one of them. Okay. Very quick. We don't have to be, too long on it. I mean, I noticed we can be long-winded. So let's talk about the first one, and it's hold your glass by the stem or the base. Right. Now, I knew about this one because if you hold it at the bowl like this, folks, if you hold it by the bowl, you're actually going to start warming the wine up. Yeah. Especially if it is a white. Okay. Reds, you'll warm up even more, but it's not a lot more. I mean, it's already warm as it is. So I knew that one. All right. Now, everybody knows that smelling your wine is important. Okay. Show the onlookers how thoughtful you are. Also, researchers believe that 80% of our sense of taste come from our smell.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Absolutely. 100%. In fact, actually, that's the 4 parts of tasting. It's look, smell, taste, and think. Right. And you'll catch that. If you want to learn more about that, actually listen to the previous episode at Dove Ridge, because we definitely talked about that. Now, this one right here, I did not know, is drink from the same position on the glass. I did not know that. And it says here, not only does this reduce lip marks on the glass, it also keeps you from smelling the inside of your mouth each time you take a sip.
Oh, that makes sense. I was trying to think, why would that matter?
I know.
But now I get it.
But I mean, it says from smelling the inside of your mouth each sip.
So yeah, so like my mouth, you can see my lipsticks. Mine's been there. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. I never really thought about that.
No.
I know. I've never thought about it. I mean, I'm a wine drinker, not a thinker.
Well, after the third or fourth glass, you don't even think at all. You just think about what's the next one. and this one's actually pretty interesting. Okay, and I never really thought about this, but it doesn't go into details. And I need to actually do some more research on this. Why they say this? It says when opening a bottle, try to do it quietly. Of course, there are a few instances where making a popping noise will brighten somebody's day. But why do you want to open it quietly? That may be another topic that I'm going to have to hit on because, I mean, that's pretty interesting.
Okay. So, I always try to find a scientific reason for everything, but that may just be strict etiquette. It's just nice if you're not popping the cork. But
kind of like having a napkin in your lap and wiping your mouth.
Right. So sometimes you just can't help it, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just pops.
Yeah.
That's when you're going to hell.
I'm looking right at you, waiting for you to say something. I'm literally just looking right at you. And then this one I hear, I mean, I kind of knew it, but it just something we don't do.
Let me go back to that one. I'm going to think about that every time I open a dadgum bottle of wine now. So I'm like, oh God, please don't pop.
Well,
doing it wrong.
I guess the only way to keep it from popping is literally as you're pulling the cork up and pulling it out instead of because some of us, I mean, of men.
I'm going to take it outside.
Well, somebody's going to hear it outside. Some people think it's gunfire. But I mean, to keep it from popping, you want to pull that cork when you get your corkscrew down into it. Pull it all the way up until it's just a very tiny little bit, and you just kind of ease it out, and that will keep it from popping.
Yeah.
My wine opening days are screwed up now.
No. Ours rarely pop anyway.
I just ruined your day, didn't I?
I'm going to think about that every time here, you do it.
I don't want to open this and make it pop.
We should let the customers do it. Here,
no,
you do it.
No.
I don't want to go to hell.
You're fine. You're fine.
That's great. Oh. And
I'm scared.
Yeah, you're fine.
And this next one here, I kind of knew this, but didn't know it. It's one of those things you knew, but you didn't know, is when clinking your glasses, you want to look your partner in the eye as a sign of respect. Also, clinking glasses at the bowl level, so bowl to bowl, to reduce breakage.
Oh.
And
so bowl to bowl.
Yeah, bowl to bowl. So, as we, hold on, I'm trying to look both
okay.
in the eyes.
Now, I was going to say, if you've got multiple people clinking, how you're looking at everybody. I understand it was just the two of you, but wow.
Hang on. Cool.
Bowl. Wow.
That was an awkward moment. Oh, I mean, like I said, I knew the whole bowl to bowl thing, but I didn't know the eye to eye thing. That's interesting. That's interesting. And then pouring wine. Hold the bottle toward the base. Not only does this little trick show your dexterity, it's also another point toward cleanliness. Let me read that again. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Or do I need to read it again?
Cleanliness.
Yeah. Hold the bottle toward the base. Not only does this little trick show your dexterity, it's another point toward cleanliness. Like godliness. Mm-hmm. It's cleanliness.
Cleanliness and godliness and pouring the wine.
You want to grab the bottle at the base.
The base. Because you don't want your fingers all up here.
Yeah.
You want it at the bottom.
So long as you don't pop the cork and hold the bottle to the base.
Once you pop the cork, you don't think it matters where you grab it. You're going to hell anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's the whole day's running.
No.
Oh, man. And then offer wine to others before pouring yourself seconds.
I would get that.
It said seconds. They didn't say first. It said seconds.
Seconds.
So first you can pour your glass first, and then everybody else is second. But the second one has to be somebody
else first.
Well, I mean, that's what it says here.
Wow. Okay, well.
Probably not. I mean, it probably says.
Well,
no.
Depends on who finishes their drink first.
Well.
Who gets the next one.
Oh, that's true.
Well, I mean, technically, I mean, and
So
this-
we had to wait. We'd have to wait on our guests to finish their wine before we could.
We could get a second.
but you need to tell them, make sure it's not a tequila shot.
Yeah.
Who wrote that book?
Madeline Puckett
There you
with
go.
Justin Hammock.
You can't trust a bucket.
But it says here, demonstrate your ability to be selfless. You're such a generous type.
Well,
I
yeah.
like that one.
Putting others before yourself.
Yeah.
You know, that
absolutely.
makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes definitely sense. And then this one right here, I know you're going to have a hard time with this one. Try your best not to be the drunkest one in the room.
You're on your own. Once it starts flowing, you're on your own.
This is particularly useful in a business situation when you might need to think on your feet.
Yeah.
So business deals, be sober.
You lost me at thinking. No, really. I mean, those are. I like that, but
I mean,
you lost me at the popping. I mean,
obviously, because I mean, the minute you lost all train of thought when you heard the popping noise, you know. And then we talked about cleanliness, and then I said godliness, and you're like, "Crap, I'm going to hell anyway."
you popped the cork, and it's like,
Well,
Those
so,
are,
so think about it this way: if you don't pop the cork and you're silent, just make sure you pour it from the base,
mm-hmm.
and you're okay.
yeah.
All is well.
All is well.
And
Until
do
you open-
not
until
drink
you-
from the same side every time. You have to drink.
No,
from the
do
same side.
drink
Yeah.
from the same side every
Yeah,
time.
drink from the same side.
Yeah, don't turn your glass around.
You know, it's amazing. Just the little things
Mm-hmm.
that it's etiquette that we don't even think about.
Yeah, those are little
No,
things.
They are. And seriously, we actually gave a deal at the library on some things that you know, your nose has to go into the glass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has to, because smelling, like
Right.
you said, is part of wine drinking.
But where you put your nose at is also very important. Also,
Right.
You don't put it at the bottom of the bowl because that's where your lips are.
That's right.
You put it at the top, unless you've already put your lips all around the bottle and the
Then it
glass.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And it's ruined because you popped the cork. Another thing is I know what it's probably in your book somewhere. When you drink, you can place the wine at different spots on your tongue
Mm-hmm.
and get a different taste.
So that's the whole swish thing.
Well, you know,
Right, but you know,
honestly, me too. And this is what I teach all the new people who are trying to understand wine. Is there is actually a really good way, and I call this blossoming the palate.
exactly.
And you when you I have to demonstrate this, okay? So you put the wine to your lips, and you just barely put enough wine into your mouth, so that way it just slides over your palate and it hits all your palates because you don't have a big mouthful, you have
Right.
just a tiny one. So this is what I show everybody. Just a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and let it hit the palates, and then you think about what you just tried.
Right.
And then take a bigger sip. And at that point, then all the palates that it needs to hit to focus on you is already open, while everything else is closed.
Yep.
And when I do that, people are like, "Oh, okay, I get
It's
that.
totally different.
Totally
Yeah.
different.
completely different.
Completely different.
Yep.
Completely different."
That's cool.
So, you know, I want to say I really had a really good time with y'all out here.
Good.
It was a blast.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it a lot.
I knew y'all were funny, but I didn't know y'all was funny. Look, I mean, funny.
No, I'm the funny looking.
Well, real quick, I want to hit my sponsors right quick. So, obviously, y'all are very aware with the Texas Wine Lover app. A great app. A lot of people need to use it more. Every day I have people come in and I tell them about it. I tell them there's 900 wineries in Texas. Here's a great little app to find those wineries, and you have a ability to do a search function on it, so you can break down to what you're looking for. From if they offer food, if they offer handicap accessibility, all kinds of stuff. Great little app. And then I don't know if y'all are familiar with this place, and it's just right up the road here from y'all. It's Old Vine, Texas, in Mansfield. Y'all need to go check them out.
Okay.
Great little place. Eric has got an amazing little concept going on there. He's 100% Texas wine bar.
Okay.
And he features nothing but Texas wines.
Sweet.
And then I actually just found out the other day there's actually a vineyard right down the road from him.
Oh.
Breaking Daylight.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Or is it Burning Daylight?
Burning Daylight.
Burning Daylight. Yeah.
which
We know them.
I want to try to get in with them to do an episode with them. Hint, hint.
That's an interesting story
It is.
Yeah.
in itself. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
I can tell you.
let them
No,
tell
no,
it.
let them
tell it.
Let them tell it.
tell it.
I
And
could probably tell it better, but
No.
not really. I'm sorry. Just kidding.
but I know they're making wine that's being featured over there at Old Vine, Texas right now.
Cool.
So I do want to do them. I just found that out the other day, so it's amazing.
Yep.
And then, of course, I'm just going to let everybody know out there that I am taking sponsorship. So if you want to sponsor the show, reach out to me at texasvino95@gmail.com, and we will work something out. This podcast is done everything by my pockets, and I'm looking this year to get some sponsors. So if you want to sponsor the show in any way possible, let me know, and I will definitely get you on here.
Sure.
Now, at every show, we do wine quotes. Okay. And I try to get funny ones, but I'm running out of funny ones. Okay. So now I have to get serious.
Okay.
So I hope you're ready for a little seriousness.
I'm ready.
All right. So this is the two serious ones. A glass of wine is good for your health. The leftover in the bottle is good for your morale.
I'm with that. Yeah. You sold me.
Yeah. And then, of course, this one right here, everybody needs this in life. Okay. All you need is love and a bottle of wine.
And a bottle of wine.
And a bottle of wine.
See, I have, what is it? All you need is love and a sunset, because we have sunset. So that's why I have that up there.
Now, see, that would have looked better if we had that glass.
Like sitting by our glass.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
Or even have it set on a sunset.
On a sunset.
There you go. So, well, folks, we come to the end of our show. I really had a great time here with y'all.
We had a blast.
It's always fun to come to sit and talk with new people and just get to know y'all. And I'd definitely be out here again.
Yay.
And I've already invited a lot of people already out here. Cool. I got some groupies I found out.
I like groupies.
So,
and we're gonna learn how to play guitar.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll come out here and we'll pick.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
I got guitars in there. We can do it today.
Okay. So, well, this is Will.
Donna.
And Dwayne.
Are you sure your name was Dwayne? You had to think about that for a second. And this is We Know Texas Vino. Cheers.